Hello, my name is Maria and thank you for joining me here in the Bead Club Lounge. Now today I'm going to be showing you how to make a V-shaped necklace using right angle weave, and you're actually going to be using 2 needles. It's a technique called cross weaving. You're going to need 3 colors and sizes of round pearls. You can use any other round beads you like. I just prefer pearls for this project. And then we're going to be embellishing the top of that necklace right in the middle with some rose Monty crystals and seed beads. But before we get started with this tutorial, I wanted to make an exciting announcement. At the end of this month, I'm going to be launching my brand new membership website. Now, if you're ready to level up your bead weaving skills, this is something that you don't want to miss out on. So inside the membership, you're going to find comprehensive video courses teaching you all the various bead weaving techniques, and you're going to find individual PDF patterns that you can download and print out and take with you on the go so you never run out of bead weaving inspiration again. And then there's also going to be a community where you can interact with other beaders just like you and me as well, and you can ask any questions and get feedback whenever you need it. Now, if this sounds like something that you're interested in, then you definitely want to click the link below this video and sign up to join the waitlist. And let me tell you, there will be a special bonus for anyone who's on that waitlist as well, so you don't want to miss out on that. So if you want to be the first to know when the doors open, make sure that you click the link in the drop box below and sign up to join the waitlist. So let's get started with our tutorial. Here are the materials that you're going to need for this project. You're going to need some 4mm rose Monty crystals. Now, if you're not familiar with these, they're these crystals with a channel, kind of an X-shaped channel on the back, and then the actual crystal on the front. You're also going to need some 3mm round pearls, 4mm round pearls, and 6mm round pearls, as well as some size 11 seed beads. I'm using Miyuki seed beads for this project. You're also going to need a clasp. I'm using a regular lobster clasp. And then finally, you're going to need 2 size 10 beading needles with about 2.5 yards of beading thread. Now, obviously, if you want to make this necklace longer, you're going to need more thread. But you're just going to go ahead and thread your needles onto both ends of your beading thread. So let's get started. Okay, so to begin, I'm going to pick up my clasp and then 1 size 11 seed bead. And I'm just going to let those slide down my thread a bit. And then using my left hand needle, I'm going to pass through that same seed bead from the side where my clasp is. So you want to be coming out towards your right hand needle. So my needle is attached to this end of the thread over here. So I'm going to push my needle through and I'm going to grab both needles. And I'm just going to line them up and slide my bead and my clasp down my thread so that they're both centered on the thread. Now what will happen is you'll have both needles coming out of the same side of that seed bead. And then once you've done that, you're going to pick up 3 of your size 11 seed beads and 1 3mm pearl on your right hand needle. And then on the left hand needle, you're going to pick up 3 size 11 seed beads, and you're going to let those all slide down your thread. Then using your left hand needle, you're going to pass through that pearl from left to right. So you're going towards those seed beads there, and you're going to pull your thread through. And I like to hold on to both needles when I'm starting out and make sure that I center these beads. So just hold on to them, hold on to both needles with one hand, with the other hand, and slide your beads down your thread. When you're done, both threads should be coming out of either side of that 3mm pearl. And you can just grab both ends and kind of tighten it up, and you'll have this V shape with your seed beads here with the pearl in the middle. From there, you're going to pick up 2 of your 3mm pearls on the right hand needle and then 1 3mm pearl on your left hand needle. And you're going to let those slide down your thread a bit. And then using your left hand needle, I'm just going to pass through that very last 3mm pearl that I picked up from left to right. And then I'm just going to pull that through. And that's going to create your first right angle weave unit using your 3mm pearls. So now I'm going to repeat those steps until I have 10 more of those units using the 3mm pearls. So again, I'm going to pick up 2 of my 3mm on my right hand needle and 1 on my left hand needle. And I'm just going to slide those down my thread a bit. And then I'm going to pass my left hand needle through the last pearl that I picked up on the right hand side from left to right. And I'm going to pull that through. And once you pull it through, you will have created your second right angle weave unit. So just go ahead and repeat that. Well, no is 9 more times. So you should have a total of 11 of these units using 3mm pearls. Alright, so now you should have a total of 11 units using these 3mm pearls. And now I'm going to move on to the 4mm pearls next. So you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to pick up 2 of your 4mm pearls on the right hand needle and then 1 on the left. I'm going to slide those down a bit, and I'm going to pass through that last 4mm pearl using my my left hand needle, and I'm going to pass through that from left to right, and then just simply pull your threads together, and that will add those 4mm pearls onto the strip of beadwork that we already have. So I'm just going to repeat that exact same thing until I have a total of 12 units using my 4mm pearls. So I've gone ahead and I've added my 12 units of 4mm pearls. Now I'm going to move on into my 6mm pearls. So we're going to do this one a little bit different. On the right hand needle, I'm going to pick up 1 6mm pearl, 1 size 11 seed bead, and 1 6mm pearl. And then on the left hand needle, I'm going to pick up 1 6mm pearl and 1 size 11 seed bead. Let's get this out of the way. So from here, I'm going to let the beads slide down as usual. And then using my left hand needle, I'm going to pass through the last this last 6mm pearl from left to right. And I'm going to pull that through. So the 6mm pearls are just, quite a bit larger than the 4s. So I need to add in those seed beads to kind of hide the thread in between there. It's not absolutely necessary, but I prefer to hide as much thread as possible. So I'm using the seed beads to do that. Now to add the next unit on, I'm going to pick up a size 11 seed bead, a 6mm pearl, another size 11 seed bead, and a 6mm pearl on the right hand side. And then on the left hand side, I'm going to pick up a size 11 seed bead, a 6mm pearl, and another size 11 seed bead. I'm going to let those slide down just a little bit. And then using my left hand needle, I'm going to pass through that last 6mm pearl on the right hand side from left to right. And I'm going to pull those through. Now again, those seed beads are going to fill in the spaces in between the last pearl that shared between the 2 units. So that pearl and then the next seed beads. So you have seed beads filling in the spaces between each pearl. So you're going to repeat that about 5 more times so that you have a total of 7 units using your 6mm pearls. So let me show you that last step one more time. You're going to pick up one size 11 seed bead, one 6mm pearl, a size 11 seed bead, and a 6mm pearl on the right hand side. And then on the left hand side, you're going to pick up one size 11 seed bead, one 6mm pearl, and another size 11 seed bead. And then you're going to pass that left hand needle through the last pearl added on the right hand side from left to right, and you're going to pull your thread through. So go ahead and add a total of 7 units using these 6mm pearls. So now I have a total of 7 units using my 6mm pearls, and I have just completed the first half of my V-shaped necklace. So let me zoom out a bit and show you what you should have so far. So this is what you should have so far. You're going to have your clasp and then a section of 3mm pearls, and then moving into a section of 4mm pearls, and then finally ending off with a section of 6mm pearls and your seed beads in between. So as I said, this is the first half of your V-shaped necklace. Now to add the second half of your necklace, you're going to need to move to one of these side pearls along the last unit of your beadwork. So it doesn't matter which side you choose, just pick a side and you're going to move both of your needles over to that one side. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to move both of my needles over to this pearl along the side of my last unit, and to do that I'm going to take the needle that's the thread that's already closest here, and I'm just going to pass that through that first size 11 seed bead and then through the 6mm pearl. And then I'm just going to pull that through. Your beadwork may slacken up a bit here, but it doesn't matter, you can tighten it up later. And then with my other needle that's the furthest away from that pearl, I'm going to need to work my way around the last unit until I'm exiting that same pearl. So I'm going to pass through the next size 11 seed bead and the 6mm pearl. Pull that through, and then I'm going to continue through the following size 11 seed bead and the 6mm pearl. And then finally I'm going to pass through that last size 11 seed bead and the 6mm pearl that my second needle, or my first needle, depending on how you look at it, is already coming out of. Alright, so there you go. It's a little tight, these pearl holes are a little small. So I'm just going to pull both threads, and now you can see that both of my threads are coming out of the same side, are coming out of opposite sides of that same pearl along the side of my final unit. So whereas I was adding on to the pearl along the center of each unit, now I'm adding on to the side of that final one, just for this particular next step here. So the next thing we're going to do is start creating the second side of our necklace. Now to do that, you're just going to repeat the exact same steps that you took to add your the last few units using the 6mm pearls. So you're going to pick up a size 11 seed bead, a pearl, a size 11 seed bead, and another 6mm pearl on the right hand side. And then on the left hand side, you're going to pick up a size 11 seed bead, a 6mm pearl, and another size 11 seed bead. You're going to let those slide down your thread a bit, and then using your left hand needle, you're going to pass through that last 6mm pearl on the right hand side and pull your thread through. And that's going to add a unit onto the side of that last 6mm unit here on the first side. So that's the first unit in your second side. Now it might look a little odd because if you look at it this way, it looks like you're adding an L. But if you turn it this way, you can see that it's kind of forming a V shape. So it's all about perspective and how you look at your beadwork. So that is the first unit that you're going to add. So you're going to repeat those steps and add 4 more units using your 6mm pearls in that exact same manner. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I've added a total of 5 units using my 6mm pearls and seed beads onto the side of my first half of my necklace. Okay, so if I cover that half of the necklace there, you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Okay, so we are basically working backwards to make the second half of our necklace look like the first half of our necklace. So you can see on the first half you have the 6mm pearls. If I'm working backwards, you have the 6mm pearls going into these 4mm pearls. All right, so we need to mirror that on the second side. So on this first half, I have a total of, if I count from the center one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. And if I count this second half, including that center one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. So I'm 1 short, and that's just where I want to be, because if you look at this final unit here using the 6mm pearls, you'll see that there's a 4mm on the end of it because it kind of blends into that section of 4mm pearls. So I need to create that last unit using the 6mm pearls and seed beads and then cross them into a 4mm pearl, and that will mirror, this final unit will mirror that unit on that side. You're going to pick up a size 11 seed bead, a 6mm pearl, and a 4mm pearl on the right hand needle. And then on the left hand needle, you're going to pick up a size 11 seed bead and a 6mm pearl. And then I'm going to cross my left hand needle through that 4mm pearl from left to right. And I'm just going to hold both threads and pull them through, and there you go. You have that final 6mm pearl unit, but it's ending with a 4mm pearl, which perfectly matches up with the one on the first half of your necklace. So now we're going to go into a section of just 4mm pearls. Now, just to remind you of the steps to add your units using the 4mm pearls, you're going to pick up 2 4mm pearls on your right hand needle, and then on the left hand needle you're going to pick up just 1. You're going to slide those beads down the thread, and using your left hand needle you're going to pass through the very last 4mm pearl on the right hand side from left to right and just pull your thread through. And that's going to create your 4mm pearl unit. So you're going to repeat those steps until you have a total of 11 units using your 4mm pearls. So I have added 11 units using my 4mm pearls, and that brings me 1 short of the first half of my necklace. But as you can see, I'll need to complete that last unit by crossing into a 3mm pearl. So that's what I'm going to do to complete that final unit using my 4mm pearls. So on the right hand side, I'm going to pick up a 4mm pearl and a 3mm pearl. And then on the left hand side, I'm just gonna pick up one 4mm pearl. And I'm going to slide those beads down my thread. I'm going to pass my left hand needle through the 3mm pearl from left to right and pull. And that's going to give you that mirror image there. Okay, so you can see now that all that's left to do is to complete this section of 3mm pearls and then to add or clasp. So once again, to do that, you're going to pick up two 3mm pearls on the right hand needle and one on the left. I'm going to slide those beads down my thread. And I'm going to pass my left hand needle through that last 3mm pearl on the right hand side from left to right. I'm going to hold on to both of my threads and I'm going to pull it tight. And I'm going to repeat that until I have added 11 units using my 3mm pearls. So I've added a total of 11 units using my 3mm pearls, and now it's time to add my clasp, or the other half of my clasp. So using my right hand needle, I'm going to pick up 4 size 11 seed beads, and then the other half of my clasp, which I'm just using a jump ring. I'm going to let those slide down, and then using that same needle, I'm going to go back through the very last size 11 seed bead that I picked up, and I'm just going to hold on to the jump ring and pull my thread tight. And then using that same needle again, I'm going to pick up 3 size 11 seed beads, and I'm going to go through the pearl that my thread is coming out of from the side opposite there. So you can see, let me zoom in a bit, you can see that I started attaching the clasp on this side of the pearl, and I'm taking my needle through the opposite side of that same pearl. And that's going to create this little V shape on that, there you go, this little V shape that's attached to the pearl there. So using my second needle, I'm going to reinforce that clasp that I just added. I mean, you can go ahead and use the same needle as long as you have enough thread. I just like to use the second one. I'm a little bit OCD like that. So I'm just going to take my needle through those first 4 seed beads and then through the clasp and back down that center seed bead again. And then I'm going to take my needle down through the 3 seed beads on the opposite side. So there you go. And I'm going to pull my thread through, and then I'm going to take my needle through that pearl where my clasp is attached, the last pearl there. And then I'm going to hold both threads and pull nice and tight, and I have the other half of my clasp attached. So then I'm just going to go ahead and tie this thread off because I don't need it anymore. So I'm just going to pass my needle through that next pearl, and I'm going to tie, going to tie a little half hitch knot here. Thread's a bit short, so just have to be careful. And pull. And then I'm going to take my needle through the next pearl just to pull that knot in there, secure that a bit, shorten that thread, and there you go. I'm going to repeat the same thing with the second needle, tie a couple knots using both needles, and then I'm going to cut this thread off, and I'm done with this part of the necklace. So I've just zoomed out so you can see what the entire necklace looks like. Now it looks perfectly fine just like this. You can stop here if you want. You can see this kind of ombre effect that's going on with the colors and then the graduated sizes. It's very pretty all on its own, just like this. But I'm going to kick things up a notch and take things up another level by adding some embellishments to just the 6mm units in the center of this necklace, and that's going to create more of a focal point. And I'm going to do that by adding my rose Monty crystals and some seed beads on top of these units here. So I'm just going to add a little sparkle, a little bling onto the top of my necklace right in the middle. All right, I have both of my needles attached to a new piece of thread. I'm using about a yard of thread here, and we're going to need to add this on to our necklace base. Now, I happen to love 2-needle right angle weave for this very reason. Adding thread is so stinking easy. So all you need to do is, remember, we want to be adding our thread to the we want to be adding our embellishment, sorry, to the 6mm pearl units. So we're going to need to start right here and add our thread to this very last 4mm pearl, because that is part of this first unit using our 6mm pearls. So all you need to do is take one of your needles, pass it through the bead that you're attaching your thread to, and pull it through. That's it. You don't have to tie any knots. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just, I like to line up both of my needles and just pull my thread so that, oh, it's caught on my ruler here. And just pull my thread, and that centers it. And that's it. You've added thread. It's not, you know, such a big deal. Not when it comes to this particular technique. Okay, so to go from here, oh, I have my needles crossed. There you go. All right. To go from here now and add my embellishment, I'm going to pick up 3 of my, oh, the other one's slid down. There you go. 3 of my size 11 seed beads and the rose Monty crystal on the right hand side, and you can see, are you gonna focus? Let's get that out of the way. There you go. Hopefully you can see that cross in the back of the rose Monty crystal. I just took my needle through one of those. It really doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to let those slide on my thread. And then on the left hand needle, I've picked up 3 of my size 11 seed beads. And now I'm going to cross my left hand needle through the second channel of the rose Monty crystal. So as I said, one is going through, the right hand side is going through one, and then you take the left hand needle through the other one. And then I just hold on to both needles. Again, I like to center my beads on my thread so I don't end up with a short piece of thread at the end. Slide the beads. Oh, I made a mistake here, and this is good because I get to show you what not to do. Yeah, I totally did that on purpose. So you can see here that I added the crystal in the wrong direction. So you'll need to add the crystal so that it lays on top of the 6mm units, face up, not face down like what I've done here. So I'm going to correct that mistake, and I'll come back and show you what to do next. Alright, so here you go. I've corrected that little mistake that I made. So I have my rose Monty crystal sitting face up when you add it in the correct manner. So the next step from here to complete this embellishment is just to pick up 3 size 11 seed beads on both needles. So using your right hand needle, you're going to find, let me move that out of the way. So my needle is attached to this 4mm pearl. You're going to find the next parallel pearl in the row. Now, the next parallel pearl would be this 6mm pearl right in the middle here. So we're going to skip over the 2 along the sides of the unit, and we're going to go to the one at the top of that same unit. Okay, so you're just going to go to the next parallel 6mm pearl, and I'm going to take my right hand needle from right to left through that pearl and pull that through, and then I'm going to take my left hand needle from left to right through that same pearl. And make sure that you don't pass through your seed beads. You don't want that. So just pull that through. And then you hold both threads and you pull nice and tight. And there you go. You have this lovely X shape with your Monty right in the middle, and the seed beads just hug around the curves of the pearl. So we're going to repeat that again. On the right hand needle, I'm going to pick up 3 of my size 11s and my rose Monty. And on the left hand needle, I'm going to pick up 3 size 11s. I'm going to cross my needle. Actually, I need to slide these down a bit first. I am going to cross my needle through the second channel of the rose Monty crystal, and I'm going to pull them through. And then I'm going to pick up 3 size 11 seed beads using my right hand needle, and I'm going to find the next parallel pearl. So I'm coming out of this one, the next one will be this one here. I'm going to take my right hand needle and pass it through that pearl from right to left and pull it through. And then I'm going to pick up 3 size 11 seed beads using my left hand needle, and I'm going to pass through that same pearl from left to right, and I'm going to pull both threads tight, and again it forms that lovely X shape. And I'm just going to repeat that all the way down to the center of my necklace here. So if I ignore that second side, you're just going to keep going straight down until you reach this last set of 6mm pearls there. And then I'll show you how to turn around and embellish the second half of the necklace. Alright, so I'm just adding my last set of 3 seed beads along the end here. So you can see that I've completely embellished these 6mm pearls on the first half of my necklace, and now I need to do the same on the second half of my necklace. So of course I need to get into position to do so, and I'm going to repeat the same steps that I took to add the second half of the necklace by passing through the beads in the base of the necklace. So right now my thread that's coming out on the left hand side, that's the one that's closest to the second half of the necklace. So I'm going to take that needle and I'm going to pass it through the seed bead and the 6mm that are in the base of the necklace. Now it may be easier to see if I flip it over this way. So I'm just passing, I was coming out of this pearl here along the end in this direction. So I'm just going through the next size 11 seed bead and that next pearl in the base of the necklace. And then I'm going to pull that through. And then working with the right hand needle, the one that's furthest away from this second half of the necklace, I'm going to pass through the next seed bead and 6mm pearl, and then repeat that again through the next seed bead and 6mm pearl, if I can get through there. Okay. And then finally through that last seed bead and 6mm pearl. And that brings me out right opposite the where I was exiting with the other needle. So you can see here that both of my threads are now coming out of the same set. I keep saying that. Both of my threads are coming out on the opposite end of the same pearl. And that's the same pearl that shared between the first half of the necklace and the second half of the necklace. And that's where you want to be. So let me flip it over again so you can see the top part of it. So I am perfectly in place. Both of my threads are coming out of this purl to embellish the top of the second half of the necklace. So I'm going to repeat the same steps that I took to add my seed beads and crystals to the top, and I'll be back to show you the end. So I just added my last Rosemonte crystal here, and now I'm going to add the 3 seed beads and cross my needle from right to left through my 4mm pearl. And then I'm going to add the 3 seed beads on my left hand needle by crossing my needle from left to right through that same 4mm pearl. And then I'm going to pull both threads tight, and that completes the embellishment on the second half of my necklace. So if I move it up here, you can see what it looks like. So you can see this is the center here, and then running along you have the embellishment on that second side. So all you need to do now is tie these 2 threads off and your necklace is done. So there you have it. That is the completed ombre necklace. I think it's very pretty, and this embellishment in the middle really makes a focal point and kind of takes this necklace to the next level. Now you can totally make this necklace using all one color. You can use the different sizes but use one color of pearls. You can use any round beads you like in the same sizes. And if you can't find the Rosemonte crystals, you can definitely use some 4mm bicones instead. Thank you so much for watching today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget, if you are interested in joining the waitlist for the membership so you can be the first to know when the doors open, click that link in the description box down below and sign up. Until next time, bye-bye.